Imagine this. It's a regular Tuesday morning, the kind where the coffee's too cold and the emails are piling up, when a phone rings and everything, changes. A voice on the other end says, "Sir, you've just become a father." Boom. Just like that, the world tilts. Who's this guy? Why's he getting this call? And why does it feel like the biggest mystery you've ever stumbled into? Stick with me, because in this video, I'm diving deep into a story that's got it all. Shock, secrets, and a twist that'll leave your jaw on the floor. You're not just watching a video. You're stepping into a moment that could change how you see life, love, and the choices we make when the unexpected hits. I'm talking to you, the one who loves a good story, who feels that itch when there's a puzzle to solve. By the end of this, you'll have the answers you came for, but you've got to stay with me to get there. Let's unpack this together, and I promise, you won't want to click away. Picture yourself in the shoes of James Carter, a 42-year-old executive at a top-tier tech firm in Silicon Valley. He's the guy you'd see in a tailored suit, striding through glass-walled offices, always one step ahead of the game. James is the definition of success. Married to his high school sweetheart, Laura, with a penthouse that screams, "I've made it." But beneath the polished surface, there's a restlessness, a quiet ache he can't name. Maybe you know that feeling, that nagging sense that something's missing, even when life looks perfect on paper. James buries it under deadlines and deals, but it's there, simmering. And then that phone call comes. It's not just a call. It's a wrecking ball. The voice on the other end belongs to a woman named Sarah, someone James hasn't thought about in years. She's calm but firm, and her words hit like a freight train. "James, you have a daughter. She's 6 years old and she needs you." Your heart's racing just hearing that, right? Mine is too. Who's Sarah? How does James have a daughter he didn't know about? And what does this mean for the life he's built? You're probably thinking, no way, this can't be real. But it is, and it's the kind of real that makes you question everything. I'm here to guide you through this, step by step, because you deserve to know what happens next. You're not just a viewer, you're part of this journey, and I'm betting you're as curious as I am. Now, let's talk about why this story matters to you. We've all had moments where life throws a curveball. Maybe not a secret daughter, but something that shakes the ground beneath you. A job loss, a breakup, a truth you weren't ready for. That's what makes James's story so gripping. It's not just his story, it's ours. You're sitting there, maybe sipping your coffee or sneaking a late-night YouTube binge, and you're wondering, what would I do? That's the hook, the thing that's going to keep you here. I'm not just telling you a story. I'm inviting you to feel it, to live it with James as he grapples with this bombshell. You're not alone in this. Thousands of you watching right now are hooked, just like you, searching for trending stories on YouTube about family secrets, shocking reveals, and life-changing moments. You typed in those keywords, shocking phone call, secret child, executive drama, and here we are. I'm promising you answers, but more than that, I'm promising a ride. You're going to laugh, you're going to gasp, and yeah, you might even tear up. But to get there, you've got to stick with me. Hit that like button if you're already intrigued, and drop a comment with what you think James should do. Let's make this a conversation, because your voice matters here. Let's set the scene a bit more, because I want you to feel like you're right there with James when that phone rings. It's 9:17 a.m., and he's in his corner office, the San Francisco skyline stretching out behind him. The phone's on speaker, and Sarah's voice cuts through the hum of his morning routine. She's not angry, not accusing, but there's a weight to her words that makes James's stomach drop. "Her name is Lily," Sarah says. "She's got your eyes." Okay, pause. Can you imagine hearing that? A kid out there, with your eyes, and you had no idea she existed? James is frozen, his hand hovering over the disconnect button, but he can't press it. You're probably wondering why Sarah waited 6 years to make this call, and what she wants now. Is it money? Custody? Or something else entirely? I'm not going to spoil it yet, because you deserve to discover this story the way it unfolds, layer by layer. But I will tell you this. Sarah's not what you expect. She's not a villain, not a ghost from James's past looking for revenge. She's a single mom, a nurse who's been raising Lily on her own, and this call wasn't easy for her either. You're starting to see the pieces, aren't you? The conflict, the stakes, the human heart of this story. You're invested now, and I'm right here with you, ready to peel back the next layer. Here's where I want to connect with you on a deeper level. You're not just watching this video because you're bored or killing time. You're here because you love stories that make you think, that make you feel alive. Maybe you're a parent, and you're imagining what it would be like to discover a child you didn't know you had. Maybe you're someone who's faced a secret that turned your world upside down. Or maybe you're just here for the drama, and that's okay too. We all love a good plot twist. But whatever brought you here, I see you. I know you're curious, maybe even a little skeptical, wondering if this story can deliver. Let me assure you, it will. This isn't just about James and Lily and Sarah. It's about the choices we make when life doesn't go according to plan. It's about family, identity, and the courage it takes to face the truth. You're going to see James wrestle with questions that hit close to home. What makes someone a parent? How do you rebuild trust when secrets come to light? And what happens when the life you thought you knew starts to unravel? I'm asking you to stay with me, not just because I want the views though. Come on, smash that subscribe button if you're feeling it, but because this story is worth your time. You're going to walk away from this video with something, whether it's a new perspective, a good cry, or just a wild story to tell your friends. Let's talk about the atmosphere for a second, because I want you to feel the weight of this moment. The tone of this story is raw, real, and just a little bit electric. There's tension in the air, like the moment before a storm breaks. James's office, with its sleek furniture and floor-to-ceiling windows, feels suddenly claustrophobic. The San Francisco fog outside mirrors the haze in his mind. You can almost hear the faint buzz of his phone, the distant hum of traffic, the pounding of his own heart. It's not just a phone call. It's a crossroads. And you, watching this, you're standing at that crossroads with him. You're wondering what he's going to say next, what Sarah's going to reveal, and how this little girl, Lily, fits into it all. The themes are starting to take shape. Family, duty, the past catching up with you. But I'm not going to lay it all out yet. I want you to feel that itch, that need to know more. You're not just a passive viewer. You're in this with me, piecing it together, guessing what's around the corner. Drop a comment below with your theories. I'm reading them, and I love seeing what you come up with. Let's make this a community, a place where we can geek out over this story together. Now, I know you're tempted to skip ahead or check the comments for spoilers, but don't do it. You're better than that. You came here for the full experience, and I'm delivering it. Let's talk about Laura, James's wife, because she's about to become a huge part of this. She's at home when James gets the call, planning a charity gala, completely unaware that her world's about to shift. Laura's the kind of person who holds everything together. James's rock, his partner in every sense. But how do you tell your wife of 15 years that you might have a daughter with another woman? Even if it was years ago, even if you didn't know? You're probably feeling that pit in your stomach, the same one James is feeling. This isn't just drama for drama's sake. It's human. It's messy. And it's why you're still here, why you're going to watch this video until the very end. I'm not just throwing you a cliffhanger for clicks. I'm setting up a story that's going to resonate with you, that's going to make you think about your own life, your own choices. You're invested in James, in Sarah, in Lily, and now in Laura, because they're not just characters. They're people, with flaws and fears and hopes, just like you. Here's my master move to keep you locked in. I'm not just telling you what happens next. I'm making you a promise. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what James does when he hears those words. You've just become a father. You'll know how Sarah's call changes everything. And you'll see the first step James takes toward unraveling this mystery. But to get there, you need to stay with me. Don't click away. Don't let that notification pull you out. You're here for a reason, and I'm not going to let you down. Think about the last time a story really got you. Maybe it was a movie, a book, or that one YouTube video you still talk about. This is going to be one of those. You're going to be the one telling your friends, you have to watch this video about the executive who got that crazy phone call. You're going to be the one hitting replay, because there's so much to unpack. So let's keep going. Let's dive into the heart of this story together. You ready? Good. Because James is about to hang up the phone, and when he does, something shifts inside him. What's he going to do next? You're about to find out, but not quite yet. Right now, James is staring at his phone, the call ended, Sarah's voice still echoing in his head. He's got a meeting in 10 minutes, a multi-million-dollar deal on the line, but all he can think about is Lily. A 6-year-old girl, somewhere out there, with his eyes. The weight of it is crushing, but there's something else, too. A spark of something he can't name. Is it fear? Guilt? Or is it something more, something that could change everything? You're leaning in now, aren't you? You want to know what James does next, what Sarah's hiding, and how this little girl is going to turn his world upside down. You're not alone. Thousands of you are watching this right now, all wondering the same thing. So here's where I leave you, right on the edge, heart pounding, questions swirling. What's James going to do? Is he going to call Sarah back, tell Laura, or pretend this never happened? You're going to find out, but only if you keep watching. Stay with me because the next part is where it all starts to unravel, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. James Carter stood frozen in his sleek San Francisco office, the phone still warm in his hand, Sarah's words looping in his mind like a song he couldn't shake. You have a daughter. Her name is Lily. The hum of the city outside felt distant, muffled, as if the world had paused to let this moment sink in. You're right there with him, aren't you? That pit in your stomach, that mix of shock and curiosity. It's the same one pulling you deeper into this story. You're wondering how a man like James, with his perfect life and ironclad routine, could have a secret this big hiding in the shadows. Let's peel back the layers, because this isn't just about a phone call. It's about a past James thought he'd buried, a woman who's carried a truth for 6 years, and a little girl who's about to change everything. You're not just watching a YouTube video about a shocking family secret. You're stepping into a web of choices, regrets, and questions that hit close to home. Stick with me, because we're diving into the heart of this drama, and every detail is going to keep you hooked, searching for answers just like James is right now. Let's rewind a bit to understand how James got here, because the past always has a way of catching up, doesn't it? 12 years ago, James was a different man. Not the polished executive you're picturing, but a scrappy 30-year-old startup founder, burning the candle at both ends. He met Sarah at a tech conference in Seattle, where she was working as a paramedic, moonlighting to pay for nursing school. There was a spark, the kind that feels like fate when you're young and reckless. They spent a whirlwind weekend together, laughing over cheap wine and dreaming about futures that didn't quite align. Sarah was grounded, practical, with a quiet strength that made James feel seen in a way he hadn't before. But James was chasing a different life. Venture capital, IPOs, the corner office. When the weekend ended, so did they. No big fight, no dramatic breakup, just a mutual understanding that their paths were diverging. Or so James thought. You're probably wondering why Sarah never reached out, why she waited 6 years to drop this bombshell. That's the mystery tugging at you, and I'm not going to spoil it yet. But I will tell you this. Sarah's life took turns James couldn't have predicted, and her silence wasn't about spite, it was about survival. You're invested now, aren't you? You want to know what happened to Sarah, and you're starting to see James as more than a suit. He's human, flawed, and about to face a reckoning. Meanwhile, across town, Laura Carter is oblivious to the storm brewing. She's in their penthouse, surrounded by fabric swatches and seating charts for the gala she's hosting to raise funds for a children's hospital. Laura's the kind of woman who makes everything look effortless. Her warmth fills a room, and her smile could disarm a boardroom. But if you look closer, you'll see the cracks. She and James have been trying for a baby for years, a quiet struggle they don't talk about, not even with each other. Every negative test, every doctor's visit, has chipped away at something between them, leaving a silence that's hard to bridge. You know that feeling, don't you? When you love someone, but there's a hurt you can't name. Laura pours herself into her charity work, into being the perfect wife, but there's a loneliness there, a fear that maybe this is all their marriage will ever be. When James comes home tonight, how's he going to look her in the eye? How's he going to carry this secret about Lily without it spilling out? You're not just watching a story about a secret child. You're seeing a marriage tested, a woman who's about to face a truth she never saw coming. Drop a comment below with what you think Laura will do when she finds out. I'm dying to hear your thoughts, because this is where the drama really starts to heat up. Let's introduce a new thread, because this story's got more layers than you might expect. Sarah's not alone in this. She's got her own world, her own battles. She's living in a modest apartment in Oakland, working night shifts at a hospital while raising Lily, who's every bit as bright and stubborn as her mom. Lily's 6, with a mop of curly hair and a laugh that could melt anyone's heart. But lately, Sarah's noticed something. Lily's been asking questions about her dad, questions Sarah's dodged with vague answers and quick subject changes. You're a parent, maybe, or you've been a kid with questions no one would answer, so you get it. That need to know where you come from, who you belong to. Sarah's been wrestling with this for months, maybe years, And that phone call to James wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. There's a reason she called now, a reason tied to Lily's future, and it's not just about money or custody. You're starting to feel the weight of Sarah's side, aren't you? She's not just a plot device. She's a mom, a fighter, someone who's carried this secret alone for too long. You're wondering what's driving her, what she's hiding, and I promise, we're getting there. But for now, let's just say Sarah's got her own stakes in this, and they're every bit as high as James's. Back in James's office, the clock's ticking. His assistant knocks, reminding him of the meeting he's already late for, but James can barely hear her. His mind's racing, piecing together fragments of that weekend with Sarah, searching for clues he missed. Was there a moment, a hint, something that could have warned him this was coming? You're doing the same thing, aren't you? Sifting through the details, trying to crack this mystery before I reveal the next piece. That's what makes this story so gripping. It's not just about the shock of a secret daughter. It's about the why, the how, the what comes next. James pulls up an old email from Sarah, one he never deleted, sent a year after they parted ways. It's short, just a hope you're well kind of note, but now it feels like a lifeline. Should he reply? Call her back? Or drive straight home to Laura and confess everything? You're shouting at the screen, maybe, telling him what to do, because you're in this with him. You're not just watching a YouTube video about a family secret. You're living it, feeling the stakes, the tension, the human mess of it all. Hit that like button if you're as hooked as I am, because we're just getting started. Let's add another layer, because this story's not just about James, Sarah, and Laura. It's about the ripples their choices create. Enter Mark, James's best friend and business partner, who's been with him since the startup days. Mark's the opposite of James, laid back, quick with a joke, but fiercely loyal. He's the one who notices James is off during the meeting, his answers distracted, his eyes darting to his phone. Mark doesn't know about the call yet, but he knows James well enough to sense something's wrong. You've got a friend like that, right? Someone who can read you without a word? Mark's about to become a key player in this, not just as a confidant but as someone with his own perspective on James's life. He's seen the strain in James and Laura's marriage, the way James buries himself in work to avoid the harder conversations. When James finally tells Mark about Lily, it's going to open a new angle, a new set of questions about loyalty, friendship, and what it means to stand by someone when their world's falling apart. You're curious about Mark now, aren't you? Wondering how he'll react, what he'll say, and whether he'll push James toward the truth or pull him back. That's the beauty of this story. It's not just one mystery. It's a tangle of them, each one pulling you deeper. The tension's building, and you can feel it, can't you? James is at a crossroads, torn between the life he's built and the truth he's just uncovered. Sarah's out there, waiting for his response, her own heart pounding as she wonders if she's made the right call. Laura's planning her gala, unaware that her marriage is about to be tested in ways she never imagined. And Lily, sweet, curious Lily, is at the center of it all, a little girl who doesn't even know the storm her existence has stirred up. You're not just watching a drama unfold. You're part of it, piecing together the clues, feeling the weight of every decision. You're searching for trending stories on YouTube, secret children, shocking phone calls, family drama, and this is exactly what you came for. But it's more than that. It's a story about what makes us human, what breaks us, and what pulls us back together. You're not going anywhere, are you? Good. Because James is about to make a move, and it's going to change everything. He's reaching for his car keys, his jaw set, his mind made up, but where's he going? To Sarah? To Laura? Or somewhere else entirely? You'll find out soon, but only if you stay right here with me. James Carter's hand trembled as he gripped his car keys, the San Francisco skyline blurring outside his office window. The decision was made. He wasn't going home to Laura, not yet, and he wasn't calling Sarah back. He was driving to Oakland, to the address Sarah had texted just minutes after their call ended. A simple line that burned into his mind. If you want to meet her, come now. You're feeling that rush, aren't you? That mix of adrenaline and dread, knowing James is about to step into the unknown. You've been with him since that shocking phone call, through the questions swirling about Lily, his secret daughter, and now you're right here, strapped in for a twist that's going to flip this story on its head. This isn't just a YouTube video about a family secret or a dramatic phone call. It's a roller coaster, and the drop is coming. You're not just watching. You're living this with James, with Sarah, with Laura, and every choice is pulling you deeper into a web of suspense, betrayal, and a truth so wild you won't see it coming. Stick with me, because this is where the stakes skyrocket, and I'm promising you, you're not ready for what's next. Hit that like button if you're as gripped as I am, and let's dive into the chaos together. As James sped across the Bay Bridge, the fog curling over the water like a warning, his phone buzzed with a voicemail from Laura. Her voice was bright, oblivious, asking if he'd be home for dinner before the gala prep consumed her evening. You can feel the guilt twisting in James's gut, can't you? He loves Laura, has built a life with her, but the weight of Lily's existence is a secret he's carrying alone, for now. He mutes the phone, his focus narrowing to the address in Oakland, a modest apartment complex where Sarah and Lily live. But here's where things get messy. When James pulls up, he sees Sarah waiting outside, her arms crossed, her face a mix of resolve and exhaustion. She's not alone. There's a man with her mid-30s, with a protective stance and a glare that says James isn't welcome. This is Ethan, Sarah's fiancé, and he's not just a bystander. He's a wild card, a man who's been raising Lily as his own for the past 2 years. You didn't see that coming, did you? Neither did James. Ethan's presence changes everything, raising questions about Sarah's motives and Lily's life. Why didn't Sarah mention him? Is Ethan a threat, a partner, or something else entirely? You're leaning in now, your mind racing with theories, because this isn't just a story about a secret child. It's a tangled drama of loyalty, love, and hidden agendas. Drop a comment with what you think Ethan's deal is, because I'm as curious as you are. Let's zoom out for a moment to Laura, because her world's about to collide with this chaos in ways she can't imagine. Back at the penthouse, she's sifting through gala RSVPs when she gets a call from Mark, James's best friend and business partner. Mark's voice is tight, hesitant, and Laura picks up on it immediately. You know that feeling when someone's holding something back, and it sets your nerves on edge? That's Laura right now. Mark's been wrestling with whether to tell her about James's distraction at work, the way he bolted from the meeting with a look Laura's never seen. Mark doesn't know about Lily yet, but he's got a hunch something's wrong, and his loyalty is torn between his friend and the woman he's always admired. Laura laughs it off, but there's a crack in her voice, a flicker of doubt. She starts scrolling through James's recent calls on their shared iCloud account, something she's never done before. And there it is, Sarah's number, a name Laura vaguely recalls from years ago, tied to a weekend James once mentioned in passing. You're holding your breath, aren't you? Laura's not just a supportive wife anymore. She's a woman on the verge of uncovering a truth that could shatter her. This subplot is heating up, weaving into the main conflict like a fuse burning toward an explosion. You're not just watching a trending YouTube story about family drama. You're invested in Laura's heart, her choices, and what she'll do when the pieces start to fall. Back in Oakland, the tension between James, Sarah, and Ethan is thick enough to choke on. Sarah leads James inside, but Ethan stays close, his eyes never leaving James. The apartment is small but warm, filled with Lily's drawings pinned to the fridge and a pile of medical textbooks on the counter. Sarah's still studying, still grinding. Lily's at school, Sarah explains, her voice steady but her hands fidgeting. James wants answers. Why now? Why after 6 years? Why him? But before Sarah can explain, Ethan cuts in, his tone sharp. She didn't want to call you. I told her she had to. You're reeling, right? This is the twist that flips the script. Ethan's the one who pushed Sarah to reach out. But why? Is he protecting Lily? Or is there something else at play? Sarah shoots Ethan a look, a silent plea to stop, but the damage is done. James's mind is spinning. Ethan's not just a fiancé. He's a catalyst, stirring up a past Sarah wanted to keep buried. You're piecing it together now, wondering if Ethan's motives are tied to Lily's future, Sarah's struggles, or something darker. This isn't just a shocking phone call story. It's a mystery wrapped in human emotions, trending on YouTube searches for secret families, unexpected twists, and life-changing drama. You're hooked, and I'm right here with you, unraveling this not one thread at a time. Let's deepen the subplot with Sarah and Lily, because their world adds a layer of heart to this storm. Sarah's been a single mom for years, working grueling shifts while raising a daughter who's bright but fragile. Lily's got a medical condition, nothing life-threatening but enough to keep Sarah up at night, worrying about hospital bills and what comes next. You're a parent, maybe, or you've carried a burden alone, so you get it, the way love and fear twist together. Sarah's call to James wasn't just about Lily's questions about her dad. It was about a future Sarah can't secure on her own. But Ethan's involvement complicates things. He's been Lily's rock, the one who reads her bedtime stories and knows her favorite ice cream flavor. Yet his insistence on contacting James feels less like altruism and more like a calculated move. You're starting to suspect there's another layer to Ethan, aren't you? Maybe a secret he's keeping from Sarah, or a plan that involves James in ways no one's ready for. This subplot isn't just a side story. It's the pulse of the drama, tying Sarah's sacrifices to James's reckoning and Laura's looming discovery. You're not just watching a video, you're in a front row seat to a family secret unraveling, and every moment is pushing you closer to the edge. The stakes are climbing, and you can feel the pressure building. James is standing in Sarah's living room, face to face with a past he thought he'd left behind, while Ethan's words hang in the air like a challenge. Across town, Laura's staring at Sarah's number on her screen, her finger hovering over the call button, her heart pounding with a mix of betrayal and dread. Mark's on his way to the penthouse, sensing he's about to step into a minefield. And Lily, innocent and unaware, is at school, drawing pictures of a family she's only just starting to question. You're not just here for the drama. You're here because this story feels real, because it's about choices that could be yours, secrets that could be anyone's. You're searching for trending YouTube content, family mysteries, shocking twists, emotional roller coasters, and this is delivering it all. But here's the kicker. Just as James opens his mouth to demand the truth from Sarah, his phone lights up with a new message. It's not from Laura or Mark. It's from an unknown number, and the words stop him cold. Don't trust her. Who's her? Sarah? Laura? Someone else entirely? You're gasping now, aren't you? The suspense is unbearable, and I'm not letting you off the hook yet. Stay with me because this twist is just the beginning, and the next move is going to change everything. James Carter's breath caught in his throat as he stared at the cryptic text on his phone. Don't trust her. The words burned into him, standing in Sarah's cramped Oakland apartment, with Sarah's guarded eyes on him and Ethan's tense presence filling the room like static. You're right there, aren't you? Heart pounding, mind racing, trying to untangle this web of secrets that's been spinning since that shocking phone call turned James's world upside down. You've ridden this roller coaster with me through every twist. Lily's existence, Laura's suspicions, Ethan's unexpected role, and now we're hurtling toward the climax, where truths will unravel, hearts will break, and one final jaw-dropping twist will leave you talking about this video for days. This isn't just a YouTube story about a family secret or a dramatic reveal. It's a journey into what makes us human, love, trust, and the courage to face the messes we make. You're not just a viewer, you're part of this, and I'm promising you a resolution that'll hit you in the gut and linger long after the screen goes dark. Smash that like button if you're ready, drop a comment with your final guesses, and let's bring this home together. The air in Sarah's apartment was thick with unspoken questions as James shoved his phone into his pocket, the mysterious text searing his thoughts. Who was her? Sarah, standing there with her arms crossed, explaining why she'd kept Lily a secret for 6 years? Or Laura, his wife, who was probably at home right now, piecing together her own version of the truth? Ethan's sharp voice cut through the haze, demanding James say something, but Sarah stepped forward, her voice soft but firm. She finally told him the whole story. Not just the weekend they'd shared 12 years ago, but what came after. Sarah had found out she was pregnant a month later, alone and scared, with James already climbing the tech world ladder, unreachable. She'd chosen to raise Lily on her own, not out of spite but because she believed James wouldn't want this life. A child, a tie to a past he'd moved on from. You're feeling her pain, aren't you? That impossible choice, the weight of doing what you think is right. But the real reason for her call now wasn't just Lily's questions about her dad. It was Lily's health. Her condition, a chronic but manageable heart issue, required a specialist, and Sarah's insurance wouldn't cover it. Ethan, who'd been by her side for 2 years, had pushed her to contact James, not for money but for help navigating a system Sarah couldn't crack alone. You're starting to see Ethan differently now, right? Not a villain, but a man trying to protect the family he's built with Sarah and Lily. Yet that text, "Don't trust her," looms like a shadow, and you're wondering if there's more Sarah isn't saying. Across town, Laura's world was crumbling. She'd called Sarah's number, her hand shaking, and when a woman's voice answered, Laura's worst fears took shape. Sarah was calm, explaining only that she'd spoken to James about something important, but it was enough to send Laura spiraling. She called Mark, who was already on his way to the penthouse, and by the time he arrived, Laura was a mix of fury and heartbreak. You know that moment when doubt turns to certainty, when the life you thought you knew feels like a lie. That's Laura, pacing, telling Mark about Sarah's name in James's call log, about the years of fertility struggles that made this betrayal cut deeper. Mark, torn between loyalty to James and his growing protectiveness toward Laura, urged her to wait, to talk to James before assuming the worst. But Laura wasn't waiting. She grabbed her keys, determined to confront James, wherever he was. You're holding your breath now, picturing the collision coming, James in Oakland, Laura on her way, and a truth that's about to explode. This isn't just a trending YouTube drama about a secret child. It's a story of love tested, trust shattered, and the raw, messy fight to rebuild. You're invested in Laura's pain, in James's guilt, in Sarah's strength, and you're not going anywhere, because the climax is here, and it's going to shake you. Back in Oakland, the tension snapped. James demanded to know why Ethan was so insistent on his involvement. Why now? And Sarah's face crumpled. She admitted Ethan had found something. A letter, tucked in an old box of Lily's baby things, written by Sarah years ago but never sent. It was to James, confessing her pregnancy, her fears, her decision to let him go. Ethan had read it and pushed Sarah to reach out, believing Lily deserved a chance to know her father, especially now, with her health on the line. But here's where the story tilts into the climax. James's phone buzzed again, another text from the unknown number, and this time, it wasn't vague. "She's not yours. You're gasping, aren't you?" The words hit James like a punch, and he showed the text to Sarah, his voice shaking. Sarah's eyes widened, and Ethan's face went pale. The room froze as Sarah stammered, insisting Lily was James's, that there'd been no one else. But the seed of doubt was planted, and James's mind raced back to that weekend, to the timing, to the life he'd lived before Laura. You're right there with him, questioning everything, because this is the moment where the story's heart lays bare. Lily's paternity, Sarah's truth, and the fragile trust between them all. Ethan stepped forward, his voice low, admitting he'd doubted Sarah too, that he'd hired a private investigator to dig into her past, hoping to protect Lily. The investigator had sent those texts, claiming to have evidence Lily wasn't James's, but Ethan hadn't seen it yet. You're reeling now, the suspense at its peak, because this isn't just a family secret. It's a bombshell that could rewrite everything. The climax erupted as Laura's car pulled up outside Sarah's apartment, her headlights cutting through the dusk. James saw her through the window, and the world seemed to slow. He stepped outside, Sarah and Ethan following, and the confrontation was raw, electric. Laura's voice broke as she demanded answers, tears streaming as she faced Sarah, the woman who'd unknowingly haunted her marriage. James tried to explain. Lily, the call, the years he didn't know, but Laura's pain drowned him out. You're feeling every word, aren't you? The betrayal, the love, the desperation to hold on to what's slipping away. Sarah spoke up, her voice steady, telling Laura about Lily's health, about the choice she'd made to protect her daughter, not to hurt anyone. Ethan, quieter now, admitted his role, his fear of losing the family he'd found with Sarah and Lily. And then, in the midst of the chaos, James made a choice. He looked at Laura, at Sarah, and said he'd take a paternity test, not to prove a point but to know the truth, to give Lily the future she deserved, no matter what. You're nodding, maybe, because it's the right call, but it's also the hardest. The tension didn't break, it shifted, setting the stage for resolution, for healing, or for something else entirely. The resolution came slowly, deliberately, like the fog lifting over the bay. The paternity test confirmed Lily was James's, silencing the investigators' claims, which turned out to be a desperate ploy by a former colleague of Sarah's, jealous of her new life with Ethan. You're relieved, but you're also reflecting, because this truth doesn't erase the hurt. James and Laura decided to meet Lily together, a tentative step toward understanding what family could mean. Laura, though wounded, found a spark of compassion in Sarah's story, in the love she saw in Lily's drawings when they visited her. Sarah and Ethan agreed to let James be part of Lily's life, not as a replacement for Ethan but as a father who'd been given a second chance. Mark, ever the steady friend, helped James and Laura navigate the legal and emotional maze of co-parenting, his loyalty a quiet anchor. You're seeing the pieces fall into place, aren't you? The subplots, Laura's trust, Sarah's sacrifices, Ethan's protectiveness, woven into a tapestry of human resilience. But here's the final twist, the one that'll leave you in awe. As James and Laura left Sarah's apartment that first meeting with Lily, a small envelope slipped from Lily's backpack. Inside was another letter, written by Sarah years ago, addressed to Lily. It read, "Your dad's out there, and one day he'll find you. Until then, you're enough." You're tearing up maybe, because it's not just a twist, it's a reminder that love, even in secret, endures. This story's ending isn't just about answers. It's about what stays with you. You came here searching for trending YouTube content, shocking family secrets, emotional twists, life-changing drama. And you got it, but you got more. You got a mirror to your own choices, your own relationships, your own capacity to forgive. James, Laura, Sarah, Ethan, and Lily aren't just characters. They're us, navigating the unexpected, finding strength in the broken places. You're not just walking away from a video, you're carrying a takeaway. Family isn't perfect, but it's worth fighting for. Hit that subscribe button if this hit you as hard as it hit me, and comment with what you'd do in James's shoes. Let's keep this conversation going, because stories like this don't end, they echo. Thank you for staying with me, for feeling this with me, and for reminding me why we tell stories in the first place.